Good morning. Today is Wednesday, June 3rd, 2026 already. How about that? I want to welcome you to the Grammy show today. My great granddaughter is the one who named it this. And this is how it happened. You know how on your TVs now you have all these apps and stuff up, and on their TV, they've got the YouTube app, and then they've got my channel, which has my picture on it. And so my great granddaughter, she says, "Dad, let's watch the Grammy show." So from now on, this is going to be called the Grammy show. And thank you very much, little sweetheart that you are. Anyway, it was an exciting weekend for us because um, the little girl I was just telling you about, she's the dancing girl, and so she had her recital this weekend, and I understand she did amazing. I didn't actually wasn't actually there, but I have seen videos, and she got to tap dance this year, and she was so excited about that. And on this Saturday, I will be seeing her at my daughter's house, and she is going to do her tap dance routine for just for me. So I'm really excited about that. The other exciting news that we have right now is today, my another one of my great granddaughters, who is 7, she is heading out to Florida, to Orlando, to be in the national competition for gymnastics. And so this is a really high honor. She's earned the right to go, and it's just amazing. Plus, they're going to see Disney, and they will see Universal Studios also. So, what a great week for everyone in our family. It's terrific. Anyway, that is the very best of all news that you are going to hear today. So now about me. All right. Um, as you know, I've been having trouble with this side of my face, and oh, last week I was just I reached the end of my rope. Really seriously, I was so ready to give up. The pain was at about 7. I could kind of conquer it with Tylenol, but I had to keep at it, and I really hate taking pills in the first place. And I just feel like, and I really hate it that Big Pharma is winning on me. How's that? Um, so anyway, so that's kind of where it was at. And I was like, so what had happened was, it's something I hadn't told you before. When I went in way back when, and I had my eye checked when I was having the trouble with my eye, and I went to the eye doctor told me that I had macular degeneration, and that if anything occurred with my eye, to call immediately, um, and they would have me in there within 24 to 48 hours. It's very critical to get in there that fast. And I also found out that I was a candidate for glaucoma. Well, that was just such a, oh, I hated that. I hated that diagnosis. That was worse to me than cancer. Cancer, you either live or die, but this is like you're in limbo land. And I didn't like it one iota. So on about Thursday night, well, this is what happened last week. Tuesday, I noticed that when I looked to my right, I had double vision. Oh, I said, is that because it reaches the edge of my glasses? I couldn't quite figure out what was going on. Wednesday, I didn't have it. Oh, okay, good, cured. Good, 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 good. Thursday, was worse. Not severe, but worse. So I knew Thursday night, now it's Friday, I really need to call the eye doctor. I didn't want to call the eye doctor, and I really wanted to give up. And I told the kids, well, guess what? At 80, I was diagnosed with cancer. At 81, I was diagnosed with macular degeneration and possibly glaucoma. And you know what? I am ready right now to dust off my biodegradable urn and get ready. That's what I felt like. So anyway, so that was Well, then it kind of made me laugh, actually. And I called my daughter, and she made me laugh. And she told me, Mom, what you need is you need a new baby fix. So um, anyway, she said, that's what you need. You need to hold that newest baby of yours, the littlest great granddaughter, which is true. It's a very healing thing to do that. And so I have that scheduled in my schedule for the weekend. But anyway, so I did call the doctor. They got me in the next morning immediately. And they determined what had happened is my eye will only move a certain amount. And that's why I have double vision after that on the right-hand side. And what I had noticed, it had definitely gotten worse. Well, not really worse, but what can I say? When my daughter-in-law was driving me to my appointment, you know how when you drive, you're supposed to kind of like watch the roads, the peripheral vision, all that stuff. And when I'm doing that, the lanes converge for me. The opposite side, over here, the traffic that's coming to me looks like it's coming right at me. The stuff over here, I don't know if it's parked or if it's driving. And so it's kind of interesting. And I also experience that when I'm walking, if I'm walking down like a busy hallway and I have to keep track of where everybody's at so I can avoid them. So anyway, so that's what was going on. And so this doctor told us that it was critical that I get this checked out today. That was last Friday, if possible. He recommended that we go, the easiest way to do it, go to the ER, because you will get your scans that you need to have done. And I had scans scheduled, but not until June 17th. And he just felt that was like way too far out. So we did go to the emergency room, and not that I really wanted to go there, believe me, because and I know it's a 9-hour ordeal. And so anyway, so we get there, we're taken very good care of, wonderful. I didn't even have to go back into the waiting room. They kept me in a private room because the triage nurse felt that I was so sick, right? I felt like saying, I'm not sick. Please, just remember, I'm not sick. I'm not throwing up. I don't have a fever. I feel great. What is your problem? I have a disease, period. That's it. That's all. Anyway, but that particular day, I had the very best of all ER doctors. Fabulous. So I got a CAT scan, a CT scan, and he came in. I was laying in bed, and he knelt down beside the bed, and he says, I have some not very good news for you. And so he went on to explain that you have a lesion on the right-hand side here, up here, about here, and you have one over here. The one over here, it is blocking your lymph node, so your sinus doesn't drain, which is the cause for most of that issue with the eye, okay? And it's also blocking so that your eye can only go so far, and that's why the double vision, okay? This one would have to do with cognitive ability eventually, and so that was kind of it. But he said, I think we need to send you on and have an MRI. If this were my mother, this is what I would want to have done. So we went on to have the MRI, and fortunately, I was so grateful. He was still there when the answers came down from that. And so he came into the room and he said, well, I even have some worse news, he said. That's what he told me. He said, we discovered that you have a third lesion in the base of your skull, which is at your fourth vertebrae going down your neck, okay? And it looks like it's headed downwards toward your spinal cord, and that's not so good. So anyway, and he checked with the the brain doctors, and nope, there's no possibility of surgery, which certainly sounded like to me anyway. So that's kind of where was left. And I have to tell you, when I got those diagnoses, it was like, thank God, now I know what's wrong. It was like a relief to me. Oh well, it was, it actually gave me hope, which probably seems really weird, right? But in reality, that's is exactly what happened. It was like, okay, now I can get on with my life. I understand what's happening, um, and I can deal with it. It's not a problem. I know I'll have to live with this the rest of my life. Okay, so it was just terrific. And when I look back on that Friday, I have to tell you, um, there were so many things that had happened that were just interesting. First of all, we're sitting there at the doctor's office, the eye doctor's office, waiting for my appointment, and this man walks out. He's a little old guy, probably 90 years old, with a cane, no teeth, and he says to the girl who was checking him out, he says, "Do you feel like dancing today?" And she says, "Well, I really don't dance, but." He says, so out of his pocket, he pulls a harmonica and he plays about 5 or 6 songs. And he has the whole office basically kind of dancing. And it was just such a joyful moment. You couldn't help but take that with you. It was like one of the best days, right? And the day before that, I had been at the dentist's office, and I had had the dentist recheck to make sure there wasn't anything wrong with my teeth that was causing any of this, and so on and so forth. And I'm just sitting there waiting for my appointment again, and out comes this woman, and she starts to talk to me. She says, "Does your husband grill?" I'm like, "What? What are you talking about? I don't even know you." And I said, "Well, yeah." And she said, "Does he light the grill and warm it up before he's ready to grill, or does he just wait till the last minute?" I said, "Usually he lights it up before, and he doesn't wait till the last minute." And she said, "How did you get him to do that?" And I was just kind of going with the flow. I just said, "Practice, practice, practice," right? Anyway, so we continued on, and then it, I think that she was just beginning to be a caregiver for her husband. And so I explained to her that I had been diagnosed with cancer, and that my husband had had a stroke at the same time, and I had been his caregiver for the last 8 years, and now whatever. And so we just had this really intense conversation. It, it was really weird, but it was like sort of life giving. And here we are again. Isn't that the way it is? This is how God works in our life. We have no concept how God is going to wander through and plant little seeds here and there and help you get through no matter what, because that's what happens. It helps you get through no matter what. So now I'm definitely in stage 4. And Monday morning, I had called oncology then to let them know what was cooking. And I immediately got calls from my radiation oncologist. Like, I was trying to get a manicure and a pedicure, and I was trying to ignore them, and my phone just blew up. It was like call after call after call after call. I finally had to answer it and made an appointment for like an hour later to meet with him, and whatever. And so anyway, so we went there, and I asked, "Is this really important information that you're going to be giving me?" He says, "Yes, it is, and it's something you need to make a decision about." Okay, great. I'll listen. I'm open to listening. Um, so anyway, so he gave me like 3 different options that I could do with radiation, and he asked if I would consider doing more chemo. I said, "Absolutely not. I will not do more chemo." And so he gave me 3 options with radiation treatment, and and I kept stopping him, and he had more. He wanted to go on. He wanted to go on. So I let him actually finish, believe it or not, um, and said that I would get back to him like the next day, whether or not I was going to go ahead with anything or not. So, but I kind of knew already that the answer is no. I'm good now. I will take my chances on whatever. And because one of the reasons is when it's in your brain, he said this can be really ugly. Well, I guess that's the way it is then, isn't it? Life isn't so great sometimes, it can be kind of ugly. And, when we're born into this world, it's not easy either. It's hard. When we leave this world, it's hard. It's okay. We got to do what we got to do. That's all I know. And I'm willing to take that risk. If it gets ugly, well, we'll deal with that. Um, whatever it takes, whatever it takes. That's all I know. So here I am, stage 4. I'm fine. I am not sick. Please do not send me a get well card. You can send me a happy card. I would love that. And life, just remember, the end of life is as much a celebration as the beginning of life. And think about it. This Saturday, I get to hold my little baby girl again for as long as she'll allow me to do it now because she's getting bigger, right? And I get to see my little tap dance girl tap dance, and I'm excited about that. So that's my weekend. You have a great weekend. I will get back to you whenever I have something new to tell you. And whatever, enjoy your day. Love you. Thank you for walking with me one more time. Bye now.